I was going to the county jail, Middleton House of Corrections. I knew people who had been there before. You hear stories, of course. I wasn't scared. I was more like depressed. I had a cracked rib, possibly broken, I don't know. And out of every shirt I owned, the shirt I got arrested in would have probably been my last choice if I could have picked one to wear to jail. It was this old school Mitchell and S Denver Nuggets t-shirt. Had that almost like rainbow colored logo. That was on my mind on the way to Middleton. There's a lot about being locked up that's terrible, but the transport is up there as one of the worst parts. How they get you from one place to another. You're stuffed in this like tiny tin can in the back of a van, handcuffed and shackled at your feet. It's either way too hot or freezing, depending on the time of year in New England. Once you get to the prison, the intake process is so long. They strip you down, make you bend over, all that. I'm sure you guys have heard those stories. You see a nurse, get all different types of shots, basically like a mini physical to make sure you're healthy enough to go and do battle. That's how I looked at it as. After being processed and basically interviewed, they give you an inmate uniform, which I was actually happy to get out of, that Denver Nuggets t-shirt. They give you a rolled up blanket. Inside the blanket has a towel, face cloth, and like a bag with a bar of soap and a thumb-sized toothbrush. It's small, so inmates can't make shanks out of them or file them down into like sharp pokers. The first place I'd call home in Middleton was an open-style dorm with 80 bunk beds. That's 160 inmates in one big warehouse open-style gym. Now, the bunk right next to me was this Dominican kid from Lawrence, Massachusetts, who was fighting an attempt murder. He had allegedly fired multiple shots into a car at a red light. The first few days, my body's going through shock. I hadn't eaten anything in maybe 2 days. This is the toughest part, getting adjusted, especially for someone who's coming from a lifestyle where, like, I was a glutton kind of. I ate and drank whatever I wanted. My mother was always cooking. There's some people where their life isn't much different from being free to being locked up. The first time you see the food they give you, you can't imagine ever being able to eat it. The food they serve is just inedible. That first couple weeks are a nightmare. You don't even have an inmate account yet to order canteen or make a phone call. You can't sleep because you're going from a mattress at home to a metal sheet with no pillow, and again, my rib, which would take another 5 or 6 weeks until I could cough or even breathe deep pain-free. Besides the hunger, the incredible thirst for anything with flavor instead of like lukewarm sink water. Besides the lack of sleep, I wasn't feeling good. Almost like I had the flu, but it wasn't the flu. It was actually withdrawals from drugs, and I didn't even know it until I was complaining to this older inmate about how I can't sleep. My stomach's bubbling, the back of my legs hurt, which I just thought was normal until he asked me about drug use. I wasn't like a drug addict or anything. I would drink 3 or 4 times a week. I would occasionally do coke on weekends to stay up late playing cards or at the casino. But I also had recently started taking 10 milligram Percocets at night to sleep or just to relax. My boss at the time, Big Mike, he popped perks like Tic Tacs and would literally have bowls of them in his office. I didn't think I was like dependent on them or addicted to them in any way, but my body was definitely detoxing from all the substances, or lack of substances in my body, I should say. That lasted about a week.